Ever feel like airlines are playing a game you never agreed to? You buy a ticket, you think you've got everything figured out, and suddenly, bam, you're hit with surprise fees, confusing rules, and a whole lot of waiting around. It's almost like they've designed the system to keep you one step behind while they quietly collect billions. Well, they have. Airlines are masters of psychology, pricing strategies, and sneaky little tricks that most passengers never notice. But here's the fun part. Once you know how the system works, you can start flipping it in your favor. Today, I'm breaking down 12 hidden flight tricks airlines don't exactly want you to know about. These aren't your usual bring a neck pillow travel tips. These are insider moves that save real money, real time, and maybe even your sanity. And trust me, you'll want to stick around for trick number 11. It's a legal loophole that works every single time, and it could save you hundreds of dollars a year. All right, let's get into it. Trick number 1, the airport pickup fee loophole. Let's start before you even leave the airport. If you've ever ordered an Uber or Lyft at arrivals, you might have noticed something sneaky. Your ride suddenly costs more. That's because most airports tack on a little something called an airport pickup fee. It's not huge on its own, usually between $4 and $15 depending on the airport. But when you're already dealing with surge pricing, it stings. Now here's the loophole. Almost every major airport has nearby hotels, Marriott, Holiday Inn, Best Western, that run free shuttles to and from the terminals. And here's the kicker. No one checks if you're actually staying there. So instead of paying that pickup surcharge, you just hop on a hotel shuttle, ride it a mile or two to the hotel, and then order your Uber from there. No extra fee, no waiting in a chaotic garage zone, and often a quicker pickup since drivers prefer hotel lobbies over airport traffic. I once landed at LAX after a long international flight. Instead of dragging my luggage through the Uber maze, I walked straight onto a hotel shuttle, ordered my ride from their lobby, and was on my way in 2 minutes flat. The price difference? About $12. Not bad for literally zero effort. Multiply that trick across multiple trips a year, and suddenly you've got an extra couple $100 in your pocket. Trick number 2, free security reservations. Now let's talk about the single most soul-crushing part of the airport, security. You know the scene. You're half asleep, clutching your boarding pass, shuffling forward one shoe at a time, and questioning every life choice that led you to this line. But what if I told you there's a free way to skip it, without TSA pre-check, without global entry, and without a single upgrade? It's called reserve security, or sometimes express lane. Here's how it works. The night before your flight, go to your airport's website. If they offer this service, you can pick a 15-minute time window, say 9:15 to 9:30 a.m., and you'll get a QR code. When you arrive, instead of joining the cattle line, you head to a special lane, scan your code, and walk straight through. Airports like Seattle, Orlando, London Heathrow, and Amsterdam already use it, and more are joining all the time. The wild part? Almost nobody uses it. Why? Because they don't advertise it. If everybody knew, it wouldn't work anymore. I tried this at Heathrow last year. Security line looked like Disneyland on a summer day, but with more frowns. I flashed my little QR code, strolled past 200 grumpy travelers, and was through in 5 minutes flat. That's coffee time I didn't think I'd get. So before your next flight, Google reserve security plus your airport. If it's available, use it. You'll feel like you just hacked the matrix. Trick number 3, always go left. Here's a tiny trick that sounds like nothing until you try it. When most people walk into the security area, what do? They drift right. It's instinctive, especially in right-handed countries like the US. Over 85% of people are right-handed, so without even thinking, the majority of travelers shuffle right and clog those lanes. But here's what seasoned flyers know. Go left. The leftmost lanes are almost always shorter, faster, and less chaotic. And if you're willing to walk a little farther, sometimes the lanes tucked behind corners or at the far end are completely empty. I learned this at LAX the hard way. I followed the herd one morning and waited 20 miserable minutes in line. The guy behind me paused, looked around, veered left, and was sipping coffee at the gate before I even got my shoes back on. Since then, I always scan the whole room, take the road less traveled, and save myself a chunk of time. One tiny move, big payoff. Trick number 4, tag your bag yourself. Let's talk about baggage. If you've ever stood at the carousel watching everyone else's suitcase roll by while yours is nowhere to be found, you know the panic. Airlines lose or delay millions of bags every year, and their tracking systems, let's just say they're a little outdated. That's why smart travelers don't rely on the airline to track their stuff. They track it themselves. Slip an Apple AirTag or Samsung Smart Tag inside your suitcase. The moment you land, open your phone, and you can literally see where your bag is, in the belly of the plane, stuck in Atlanta, or rolling onto the carousel. I've seen passengers walk up to the airline desk and tell the agent, "My bag's still in Chicago." The staff is shocked because they didn't even know yet. Suddenly, you're not begging for updates. You're handing them information. For $30, that peace of mind is priceless. Trick number 5, the airport trap design. Here's a fun fact. Airports aren't designed for efficiency. They're designed to make you spend. Think about it. The moment you clear security, the flooring changes. Hard tile becomes soft carpet. Why? Because studies show travelers move faster on hard floors, but slow down on carpet. And when you slow down, you linger. And when you linger, you shop. The lighting? Bright and energizing around duty-free stores, dim and cozy near food courts. The smells? That waft of fresh cinnamon rolls? Often pumped in artificially to trigger cravings. Even the confusing layouts. Ever wondered why you're forced to walk through rows of expensive cologne and whiskey just to reach your gate? That's not poor planning. That's funneling. Airports are basically giant psychological playgrounds designed to get you to spend money while you wait. Now, once you notice it, you can't unsee it. So the next time you're tempted by an overpriced snack or a limited-time duty-free deal, stop and ask yourself, am I really hungry or am I just being played? Trick number 6, duty-free isn't always a deal. Speaking of duty-free, let's bust a myth. Duty-free sounds amazing. No tax, airport exclusive, limited time only. But don't let the fancy packaging fool you. A lot of those so-called bargains are actually more expensive than your local store. For example, I once saw a travel-exclusive candy pack that cost more per ounce than the exact same candy at Walmart. Perfumes and liquor? Same story. The packaging is different, the price is higher, and most travelers are too distracted to notice. The smart move? Pull out your phone and scan the barcode. Amazon, Walmart, Target, 30 seconds of searching, and you'll know if it's really a deal. If it is, great. If not, walk away with your wallet intact. Duty-free isn't always a scam, but it's definitely not always a bargain either. Trick number 7, wear your extra luggage. Now let's talk about baggage fees. The billion-dollar goldmine airlines don't want to give up. Here's the loophole. Airlines charge for checked bags, they charge for overweight bags, but they don't charge for what's on your body. Got a carry-on that's about to burst? Put on your bulky jacket. Layer up with hoodies. Slip that second pair of sneakers onto your feet. I once saw a guy bored looking like a walking thrift store. 3 jackets, 2 scarves, and cargo pants stuffed like a filing cabinet. Did anyone stop him? Nope. He walked right on without paying a dime. Once you're on the plane, you just shed the layers. Roll up the jacket as a pillow, drape the hoodie like a blanket, and suddenly you're comfortable and $40 richer. It might look a little silly, but hey, airport fashion is subjective anyway. Trick number 8, don't pick your seat immediately. Airlines are sneaky about seat selection. When you book, you'll often see a warning. Only middle seats available unless you pay extra. And of course, nobody wants the dreaded middle seat, so people panic and shell out $20, $40, even $60 just to upgrade to what's basically a normal aisle seat. Here's the secret. Don't pick right away. As your flight gets closer, airlines often release those unavailable seats for free at check-in. I've seen flights where all the good seats were sold out, only for half of them to magically appear for free 24 hours before takeoff. So unless you're desperate for a specific spot, play the waiting game. You'll often score a perfectly fine seat without paying a penny extra. Trick number 9, clear your cookies before searching. Ever notice how flight prices seem to rise the more you search for the same route? You're not imagining it. Airlines and booking sites use cookies to track your searches. The more times you check, the more urgency they create, nudging you into booking before the price goes up again. The fix is simple. Search in incognito mode, clear your cookies, or even switch devices. Better yet, use flight comparison tools like Google Flights or Skyscanner, which give you transparent pricing trends. Think of it like poker. You don't want the airline to know you're desperate. Trick number 10, split your ticket. Round trips aren't always the cheapest. Sometimes it's far cheaper to book 2 one-way tickets, even on different airlines. For example, fly Delta on the way there, United on the way back. You might save $100 or more just by mixing and matching. And if you really want to play the game, there's hidden city ticketing. That's where you book a longer flight with a layover in the city you actually want, then just get off at the layover. For example, instead of booking a direct ticket to Chicago, you book a cheaper flight to Milwaukee that connects through Chicago, and you just don't get on the second leg. Websites like SkipLag specialize in finding these loopholes. Airlines hate it, but it's not illegal. Just don't check a bag, because your luggage will go to the final destination, not your stop. Trick number 11, the 24-hour cancellation rule. This one is pure gold. By U.S. law, any flight booked directly with the airline can be canceled or changed within 24 hours, completely free. Doesn't matter if it's basic, economy, or first class. So if you find a great deal but you're not 100% sure, go ahead and book it. Lock it in. Then within 24 hours, you can cancel with no penalty if your plans change or if you find something cheaper. Most airlines don't advertise this because, well, why would they? But it's one of the most powerful tools you have as a passenger. Use it. Trick number 12, don't rush the boarding line. Here's the last one, and it's as much about sanity as it is about strategy. Airlines want you to crowd the gate. They call groups early, they make announcements, they create this artificial urgency so everyone lines up like cattle. But unless you desperately need overhead bin space, there's no benefit to rushing the line. In fact, hanging back often makes the experience smoother. You avoid the elbow wars, you stroll on when things have calmed down, and sometimes, if the flight is oversold, late boarders actually get bumped into better seats. So next time you hear, "Now boarding group 8, take a breath, finish your coffee, walk on like a boss." And there you have it. 12 hidden tricks airlines don't exactly want you knowing about. From hacking your Uber pickup to skipping security lines, from dodging bogus seat fees to legally canceling flights for free, these small moves add up. Traveling doesn't have to feel like a rigged game. Once you understand the tricks, you can start playing it smarter. And trust me, it feels amazing to beat the airlines at their own game. So, which of these tricks are you trying first? Drop it in the comments and share this video with that one friend who always overpacks and pays $75 at the gate. You know the one. Until next time, safe travels and happy hacking.